Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Great to see your faces again, and thank you for everyone for spending the time to put together the information for today's meeting. We'll have a call to order. It's exactly 9 o'clock. Zendaya, have we complied with the Freedom of Information Act?
Yes, sir, we have.
Okay, great. We'll move on to the roll call. Committee members, please reply with the present when called upon. Zendaya, please call the roll.
Miss Martin,
Present.
Mr. Berghausen,
Present.
Mr. Fluker, Mr. Arnold,
Present.
Mr. Farrell. I don't see Mr. Farrell. Okay. Mr. Thomas. Don't see Mr. Thomas. And Mr. Brown.
Present. Okay. Let's see here. Please note of quorum for if there are more than 4 town council member present. Do we have more than 4 town council members present?
No, sir, we don't.
Okay. All right. We'll move on to citizens' comments. Zendaya?
We actually need to do the approval of the agenda, Mr. Brown.
Oh, sorry. I've flipped pages. That's my fault.
That's okay.
Zendaya, does staff have any changes to the agenda at this time?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay. Committee members, are there any changes that you would like to have made to the agenda? If none, please reply with approve or not approve. And I may have a motion to approve the agenda.
Chairman, I move for the approval of the amended agenda as published.
Thank you, sir. Is there a
Mr.
second?
Chairman. Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I second that motion.
All righty. Thank you so much. Zendaya, will you please call the roll? And for the record, I see Mr. Farrell has joined the meeting. Hey, John.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Miss Martin,
Michael.
Approved.
Mr. Berghausen,
Approved.
Mr. Fluker, Mr. Fluker.
Approved.
Thank you. Mr. Arnold,
Approved.
Mr. Farrell,
Approved.
Mr. Thomas, Mr. Brown.
Approved. All righty. With that, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. Committee members, do you have any changes to the minutes that were presented? If none, first I'll stop. Any changes to the minutes? Okay. May I have a motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, I move for the approval of the minutes.
The joys of Zoom. Thank you for the
Mr. Chairman, I
motion.
move
Is
for
there a
the
second?
approval of the minutes as published.
Mr. Chairman, I second that motion.
All righty. Zendaya, please call the roll.
Miss Martin,
Approved.
Mr. Berghausen,
Approved.
Mr. Fluker,
Approved.
Mr. Arnold,
Approved.
Mr. Farrell,
Approved.
Mr. Brown.
Approved. All righty. Now we're on to the next item, which is citizen comments. Zendaya, I'm getting a terrible amount of feedback. Is anybody else hearing that?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, sir. I just muted Miss Martin and Mr. Fluker. I believe their audio is fighting against each other. So I just muted the two. So I apologize. You two will have to unmute yourself when it's time. Thumbs up. Great.
Good. Awesome. All right, I appreciate that. So Zendaya, moving on to citizens' comments.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Public comments concerning today's agenda items were to be submitted electronically via the town's open town hall portal. The public comment period closed yesterday at 4:30. At the conclusion of the open town hall, there were no comments. However, one citizen did sign up to speak before the committee today. Mr. Chairman, at this time, the caller is holding.
Okay, looks like we have Mr. Hoagland on the phone. Please go ahead and have Mr. Hoagland speak. And just remind him of the time.
Good morning, Skip. Good morning, Skip Hoagland, Windmill Harbor. Drew Brown, how did you become ATAX chairman, also sitting on the Bill Miles Chamber board? This is a huge conflict. And who appointed you? Bill Miles' buddies at the town? How did past chairman Brad Maris serve, also being in an illegal nonprofit business with Bill Miles and Kerry Corbett, and you also ATAX funded both of them? How can all of you serve in this ATAX committee legally when every one of you are chamber members in conflict and no Chinese wall? Do you deny that? Why would all of you vote to continue to recommend millions of ATAX funding to the town council for Bill Miles to be approved to illegally use when you know it's illegal? Why do you allow Bill Miles to take over $1 million of ATAX to Canada ongoing to develop an app and a website to own versus a town and sell advertising illegally to profit his private, filthy, secret pockets and violate tax codes? You all know it's not possible for Bill Miles to pay himself a $400,000, $500,000 salary pay package, a $1.7 million home in Indigo Run, $500,000 mountain house, family trip to China, 24 employees, average $87,500 each, by legal use of tax funds. Then why do you keep recommending and protecting Bill Miles when none of you have seen anything? You've never seen one accounting. Why do all of you keep recommending millions in ATAX funding when Bill Miles told all of you his use of tax money, members' dues, general tax funds, South Carolina PRT tax funds, Governor McMaster millions just issued is his secret sauce and none of your business? Is this how you run your own business and family money? Why do you continue to fund many nonprofits illegally under ATAX laws? First T is an example. It would be like YMCA, the Heart, the Cancer Association. They all might be worthy, but you can't use tax monies. They must be funded by their private donors and their private members. And the chamber is the same way. Do you all understand why factually many in this island would consider all of you corrupted, crooked, and or incompetent? You are all a public embarrassment to this island. Your public service is appreciated, but not your public corruption. You are all being used like mindless puppets by Bill Miles and his cronies to assist the ongoing robbery of millions of our tax funds, your tax funds, everybody's tax funds. Drew, I look forward to your and other people in this committee's depositions on exactly what you do know, and I'm sure that the investigations will be ongoing. My harsh words found in the dictionary to best describe all of you is filthy, lying, thieving, crooked, corrupted, shysters, swindlers, tricksters, fraudsters. If this is not true, then you sue me for defamation and prove that I'm wrong. I can assure you my harsh factual criticism under the First Amendment is not near as bad.
Mr. Chairman, that was the 3-minute mark.
Thank you. And thank you for your comments, sir. All righty, moving on to unfinished business. I see none. If the committee has no other, we'll move on to our new business. So each applicant will get 10 minutes, 5 minutes to present, and 5 for questions. Is the committee ready? Okay. Seeing that, we'll go ahead and Zendaya, is Sandbox ready for their presentation? I see Nancy on.
Ms. Fish, you will have to unmute yourself, and then you can start sharing your screen.
Perfect. All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and I want to thank you for this opportunity. I think all of you are familiar by now with the Sandbox Children's Museum, with our mission, the important role that we play in the community, but also with the tourists and the families that come to Hilton Head, and the resources that we provide for them. So as you know, we, back in 2016, went into agreement with the town to have a new building down in the Lowcountry Celebration Park. And I'm sure all of you have seen that, and it's beautiful. We have, in the meantime, broken ground, started a capital campaign, and then we were hit with a global pandemic. A small nonprofit like the Sandbox was particularly hard hit. We closed for 12 weeks. Fortunately, we are not in that 30% of children's museums who will never reopen, because we are determined to reopen again, and we did last June. However, our earnings were down quite a bit. We struggled with capacity. We had limits on capacity, making sure that we kept everyone healthy and safe in our museum, not just our guests, but our staff members as well. So that greatly impacted not only our capital campaign, but also our operating revenue. So what I come before you today is to ask for some of that difference in the capital campaign that we have not been able to raise, and that amount is $143,202. I did want to give you kind of an overview of the new museum, and in it you will see some of the pieces that I have asked for, including the holographic sandbox, some of our outdoor exhibits. We have a large space down one side of the building where we're going to put additional outdoor exhibits for guests while they're waiting. And then just to help finish really the upfit of the building as well. There is a list in the ask of specific items that you can see before you. The biggest one is the outside area. And again, some of the other exhibits, which can be quite costly. So let me share my screen and give you this overview, this sneak peek into the new sandbox. I hope you can see this. Somehow we've got it going twice. Here we go.
Miss Fish? I don't see that you're showing your screen.
Okay.
Or sharing your screen, I apologize.
I wasn't seeing the video, right?
All right. Just click here to share screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me start it over. You see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to just click through some of the photos for you, because for some reason it wants to play twice. So our sandcastle feature, that was our initial drawing of it. This is our main exhibit. And here's what it looks like today. Some of the additional exhibits that we're adding are that Gulfstream has donated a new jet cockpit. You can see to the right there, the 3D holographic sandbox, which actually allows children to manipulate the topography. It has a computer that shines down on it, and as they move the sand around, the physical topography of the land moves, and it can be programmed to do a volcano, a desert. The gentleman that we're working with is actually going to create a simulation of the Lowcountry marsh, and then a simulation of what would happen in a hurricane to the marsh. We also wanted to make sure that the new museum really reflected the local culture. So I actually designed a Gullah exhibit with the help of Louise Cohn from the Gullah Museum, designated geared towards young children, that tells all about the Gullah culture, where the current communities are today, their everyday life, the songs, the arts, the basket weaving. This will be a two-sided exhibit. We're adding a new shrimp boat. We're going to talk about the life cycle of the Atlantic white shrimp, the local commercial shrimping, and really do with our grocery store that we have a farm to table, where in the grocery store there will be a seafood case, so the children can see how things can come straight from the boat into the grocery store. We'll have an updated racetrack and garage, an updated veterinary clinic that will have not just domestic animals in it, but also those local animals that might get hurt, whether it's a raccoon or a squirrel or things of that sort. Our new outdoor space is something we're really excited about because we're going to be able to have 1,200 square feet of outdoor exhibits, where we're looking to put a pool noodle forest, which is this right here, outdoor art activities for the children, our big blue blocks. What we're asking for is the rubberized flooring so that we can then again put up our rock wall for the children in this outdoor space. We have, as you can see here, are a couple of reviews of people just in the last couple of months. Since we reopened in June, the majority of our attendees and our guests have been tourists who are here visiting on the island. In the end, the Sandbox is a great place for children to come, whether it's to meet old friends or make new ones. And here's just an outside look of the museum today. I'll stop sharing my screen. The Sandbox has, over the years, as you know, tried to reduce our reliance on ATAX money, and we were moving in the right direction again until the pandemic hit. And so we really feel like, again, this is a one-time ask to really bring the museum up to the standard, like the playground is. The playground is a beautiful state-of-the-art playground that sits right next door, and we really want the Sandbox to be that as well. So questions?
Thanks so much, Nancy. We'll open it up to the committee for questions.
Hi, Nancy. This is Jim Berghausen. You said some magic words to me, which is a goal of ultimately trying to reduce your reliance on the ATAC money. But what you're doing seems really great. It seems like this can become, if it isn't already, a real signature item for our island, and that's really exciting. The facility looks fantastic. And the other magic words were, it's really a one-time ask to
Right.
get you up and running. And I was glad to hear you use those words. Total number of tourists, though I'm trying to get my arms around that. I think in your presentation earlier last year, it was about 2,700. Is that right? Tourists served in a year?
So in 2019, we had 20,000 people come through the Hilton Head location. This museum, of course, will have a larger capacity once the capacity, restrictions lift. So we feel like we'll be able to have more people come through than that 20,000.
Okay, so the numbers will probably explode when.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
And I think the other thing that's important too is during this pandemic, I was really in touch with, on a weekly basis, all of the CEOs from children's museums around the country and around the world. And one of the things that we talked about and that our board is moving to is that small nonprofits like this really have to move more towards a business model than a nonprofit model. So that's something else we're looking at that we hope in the future will help, again, decrease our reliance on other funding sources other than donations and fundraisers and grants and things like that.
Great. Nice work. Thank you.
Hey, Nancy, this is Julie Martin here. Listen, not so much a question, more of a comment. I personally have been to the Celebration Park, and it is amazing, and it's fun, and I've played in it and walked in it, but also working here at Marriott Vacation Club, I know for a fact that we and my colleagues, we do recommend the park to a lot of people, especially, since it's brand new. It's like, and we have, owners that are coming here year after year after year, and they give us the comment that what a great location it is. So I am looking forward to see the involvement of the sandbox, and I totally will, and am an advocate for it.
Oh,
So
well,
thank you.
Julie.
Yeah, Nancy, I would just, one of the things I would ask just briefly, as you had mentioned, 30% of children's museums, are not reopening, and you had been in touch with the local other CEOs. What other children's museum in our area or in our state or in Georgia were impacted? And do you see that as an additional draw for the museum?
They were all impacted. In fact, Lowcountry, the Lowcountry Children's Museum in Charleston actually thought they might have to close permanently, but they did a last-minute kind of fundraising ask with their donors and have been able to keep their doors open. So it's really impacted all of the children's museums. There's 3 in the upstate, Columbia, Hartsville, and Myrtle Beach as well. And so, we've all kind of kept in touch with one another, just in South Carolina also, which has been a great source of support and been able to, bounce things off one another. But it has, it has been difficult, and there have been, trying to keep staff on, but keep the services going in particular. So, for instance, when we shut down, we immediately went to virtual. So we were able to, again, serve all of those people who follow us on Facebook, whether they lived here or lived across the world, kind of thing. Could put out content that way as well.
Great. And then one other item, just as a housekeeping item, the request is in the amount of 143. Looks like from our estimates, the maximum reimbursable amount would be about 135,000 if that were allotted. So wanted to make sure that was shared with you. Are there any other questions from the committee members? Not at this time. Nancy, do you have anything else to add?
I don't think so. Just thank you again, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else from the town before we move on? Zendaya, you have anything before we move on to our next applicant? And Sea Turtle, are they ready?
Sea Turtle is here. Nope, that is all for Miss Fish.
All right. Thank you, Nancy. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
So next presentation is from the Sea Turtle Patrol. Is that Miss Amber? Hey, I see you, Amber. How are you, Amber?
Hello, I'm good. And this time I'm going to share a screen with you guys instead of just talking to you. So this is not Zoom. So we're going to try it. Are y'all ready for me to share the screen? Can you hear me all right? Okay.
Yes, good to go.
Okay. Can you see the screen? You can see my presentation?
Yes, we can.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, let's start from the beginning. Okay, it's on my second screen, so you'll be maybe seeing me from the side, if that's okay. Do you see the presenter mode, or do you see the full screen?
Full screen.
Okay, thank you. All right, so what I learned from the last one is really the purpose of ATAX. It was my first attempt earlier. I also was not familiar with Zoom, so a lot has changed since then. It's been Zoom City for me. So in the ask, the first thing that I'm asking for is this documentary, which we've been planning to do for a long time. It has to be good because it's going to be distributed everywhere. Like it's free to everyone to use. for the hotels, the realtors, the property managers, POAs, HOAs, everybody, the town, everybody can use it. The town, or actually the chamber, uses Harding Creative, which is the new company locally that is very, very good. And just Monday, I was out with the chamber filming what you see there. Their Harding Creative is filming for them. This is going to be a project that involves nighttime. This is odd hours. This is going to be some serious equipment that does night vision and things like that. So their price is going to be up there, but not compared to what everybody else is asking for. So $15,000 is their quote. It's going to take a year to do that, and this would be something that would be presented in 2022. The chamber obviously thinks that sea turtles are a draw in many ways, so they've arranged a lot of interaction with me over the next few months. So we've done a lot in between now and then. The second ask is for the doormats, which you're probably familiar with. We did this before, and it was very popular. We're constantly getting people asking where they are this year, but we didn't have the funds to buy them. We would like to distribute them for free to all of the beachfront rentals, again, to any of the businesses that are open to it. I've given them to the trolleys. Town Hall has it. Residents want it. It's just a really nice, attractive doormat with a message, and the message is very relevant. We've had the lighting ordinance revised for 2021, starting May 1st. We've had these posters created that, give our message as well, and one of it is lights out. And that poster has also been given to tons of places, but the ask is for the doormats, and the last order we made was 400 doormats as well, but half of it was donated. So we'd like to provide that again. It's a permanent solution that does not, it's a marketing material that does not end up on the beach as trash. And people don't typically steal it from the rental because it's going to be full of sand by the time they leave. A new addition to our repertoire is the QR code, and the QR code is our attempt to reduce litter again. We've put it into many different forms. We've put it on all the signage that we have already existing. We've put it on our display at the airport, which I'll talk about when I talk about Myrtle. It is also on the side of our truck. I put the picture in front of the Westin there to show you that every day where there's anything sea turtle related, we have a crowd. So are people interested in sea turtles? Yes, they are. Ecotourism is becoming a huge thing, and people come to see what they can see on the beach during nesting season. This is our new vehicle. It has the QR code on it. Every time we have a crowd, we ask them to scan it. All of these QR codes are collecting area codes from phones, so we know how many scans we have and where they're from. And on the beach, when we start to collect this information, we see thousands of people a day. I think you'll be surprised at how many people approach us and want to learn about what goes on here. So the next ask, the QR code stickers, I failed to mention that. We've put it into a sticker form. Usually people do not throw stickers on the ground. I've got it on my phone. So when people ask, anything about sea turtles, they scan this QR code. I get their area code, and then they go to our website to learn more about sea turtles. So QR code stickers are available for handout. We bought some of those. It was a lot of stickers, 600, and it was costly, but it was it's going to be worth it for the data that we collect. But we'd like to order more that we can hand those out. Myrtle, of course, you've heard about Myrtle. Myrtle is our attempt to bring awareness to sea turtles. Myrtle became more popular than we ever thought she would. The first one sat in front of the Tiki Hut for a year, and we are donating this one to the Sandbox Children's Museum. As soon as we put that thing on the beach, people started taking pictures. All these pictures are from the first day before she was even installed. So she draws a crowd for sure. And where is she now? By the way, on the right-hand side there, the chamber, I learned at the last ATAX presentations, are using the sea turtle as a welcome to Hilton Head. So not only do we have them when you get here to enhance your time here on Hilton Head if you're a visitor, but to raise awareness for our mission, it's already there. And I'm trying to convince them to change the name from Stella to Myrtle. And hopefully I'll get there. I had a conversation with them about that on Monday. Okay. So Myrtle is going right here in the sandbox. She's going right outside the front door. She will also have a QR code attached to her, and it'll be a QR code that's individualized for her. So we have one for the airport Myrtle. We have one for Myrtle number 1 at the sandbox. So we'll know which Myrtle they got it from and where they are coming from based on their area code. This is the one at the airport, in case you didn't see that whole presentation. It is an exhibit at the Hilton Head Airport that is permanent. It's the lights out Myrtle that sat in front of the tiki hut for a year, and now she's in her permanent location. The QR code on the top is her specific QR code, so we know who is visiting or finding her in the airport and where they are coming from. This is Myrtle number 3. Myrtle number 3 is likely going to the Savannah Airport. The chamber is going to support us on this, and we have a connection there. So her QR code will tell us from Savannah who was interested in the turtles and who will learn about them on Hilton Head when they get here and where they're from. We would like the ATAX committee to fund the fourth one, which would look like this when it comes out of the box. And every year we'll be getting a new one with their specific QR code and a high profile location installation. Hopefully this one, the fourth one, would go to the Atlanta airport to show us who is interested in learning about sea turtles on their way here possibly, or maybe coming here eventually. And we'll have all of that information on our website that's being updated right now by a professional web designer. The last ask is for the same ask that I asked for last time. When the second go-round was presented, it does say in the description to enhance the tourist experience, which I think we've kind of gotten away from a little bit, so involved with marketing, and we need to teach them beach etiquette while they're here because we have to preserve what we have, and you can see my trailer there. That starts June 1st, by the way, and it'll be going on nightly for 4 months. I'll be picking up that amount of trash every night, and the whole time I'm going to be thinking, how do these people not know that this is not important? Because false crawls are over 50%. They hit these things. We just need to inform them, and the town doesn't want to necessarily hand out tickets to everyone. They want to educate the people, which does enhance their tourist experience here, and their stuff doesn't get taken. So we are going to do these at Celebration Park in June, July, and August on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Of course, y'all know that all of our organization is volunteer. Nobody gets paid, or there's no salaries collected here. In fact, I just want to thank Blake from Lane Ensemble for letting me go first, because I actually have to go to work after this. So this is my second job that takes more time than my actual job, but we need to improve our etiquette of our tourists. I think they are the ones that pay the ATAX. They're the ones that need this education so that we can protect what we love. The holes, trash, all that's included in this talk. And at the talks, we will be collecting, again, a scan from our QR codes on the back of the clipboards that the turtle trackers will be walking around with, collecting zip codes and number and party. So when those 13 talks happen, we will have all of that data for the people who have come to visit, and they will be attending the Turtle Talk for free on Monday nights. We want to catch them in the beginning on Monday nights so that the rest of the week for their stay that they will do that. But as a person from experience talking to you right now, it is going to be hot at 8 p.m. I remember walking into the Sea Pines Beach Club on these nights and just walking into that air conditioning and just loving it because I was so hot. So hopefully next year, when pandemic is gone, for example, we can have a comfortable space where people won't be distracted sitting on the grass and sweating. That would be nice. And we would be collecting the same data. And that picture there is Kim talking to people who just happened upon us. And this year they'll be scanning our truck and that QR code. So we'll be collecting that data that you want in all of these ways. Remind me, or I'm going to remind you that Sea Turtle Patrol used to be paid for by the town, and it hasn't since 2017. We are self-sufficient from donations from the public and volunteers that are preparing the beach every night. Town pays so many contractors to pick up trash. I think that we can fix that problem with ATAX money, and that's it. So if you guys have any questions, please ask.
All righty, thank you, Amber. I'll open it up to questions from the committee. Questions?
Thank you, Amber, for the presentation. Just a little housekeeping. The $10,660 requested for venue reimbursement. The same rules still apply from your previous presentation. I don't believe that that's anything we can reimburse under ATAX funding. So just wanted to throw that out there. I don't believe that that's something we could even make a recommendation for. Am I correct in that, Mr. Chair?
Correct.
But thank you very much for the presentation.
Other questions from the committee?
It's Julie. I just want to make a quick comment. Amber, I like the QR codes, to track information and track tourist information. I think that's super important. Stephen, I just want one clarification. I mean, that's $10,000+ that she's requesting for the funding of a venue, which we can't approve. I agree with that. But the other things are things that we can consider, right?
Oh, in my opinion, I believe so. Correct, Mr. Chairman?
Perfect.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, because in my opinion, I think they all relate to tourist activities and awareness. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
we talked about before too on other calls. Love the idea about the turtle mats. I know that is something that's very effective in communicating basics.
Yeah, the QR code. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, QR code. Yeah, in the doormats. So we want to do all we can to help you. And town staff has been guiding us. We're trying to find ways to see how we can help. But unfortunately, with some of the guidelines for TURC reimbursement, they're pretty tough. So, but thank you very much again for your presentation. If there are no other questions from the committee, we'll go ahead and move on.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So besides the rental space at Soundwaves, all the others, the documentary, the stickers, the doormats, and the Myrtle apply for marketing, which they do, I believe. Are you telling me that those have passed inspection, or
So I'll leave that to Cindy and John. You wanna weigh in from a town perspective?
Sure, yes. Mr. Chairman, to answer Ms. Kuhn's question, yes, all the other items that you have requested for marketing, those are items as of right now that we do deem and feel are reimbursable.
Okay, just from inexperience, when do we find out if that is a go?
Well, the ATAX, once the ATAC committee makes their recommendation, that goes further to town council, and all of these grants are on a reimbursement-based, they're reimbursement-based grants. So you would spend the money, and then we, as a town, reimburse you. So if it comes time to something that is questionable based on what we receive from you, we will work with you to try to make sure that you do receive and you're able to use all of your funding that is awarded to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Amber. Well done.
Thanks.
Good presentation.
Thank you.
Alrighty, with that, we'll move on to the Palmetto Quilt Guild. Are they online, Cindy?
Yes, Miss Donna.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you see me now? I'm so happy to meet with you. My name's Donna Simmons. I'm president of the Palmetto Quilt Guild, and it's a true honor to speak to this advisory committee. We are a nonprofit, and this is our first time we've ever come to make this request for a tax grant. We're celebrating 30 years of our guild here on the island, and we are part of the American Quilters Society, and it's AQS, and it's an international organization. Our guild's composed of 111 members, and we function under a board of directors that is elected yearly. And within the guild, we have 8 active bees. These bees are special interest groups within our quilt guild, and they range from traditional quilting, applique, to modern art quilts. And you may have seen some of our modern art quilters exhibited at the Art League of Hilton Head in the gallery there. We service our community with service projects. We give quilts to charitable organizations, and so far just this year we have given 76 quilts to the Sandalwood charity, and we have approximately 30 quilts ready to go on out to other charities. We also, during COVID, supplied masks. So we're not just making quilts. We have people who sew and have many talents. We've given them to organizations such as the first responders on the island, volunteers in medicine, and other medical facilities, even beyond our community. We have one lady alone who has sewn 2,000 masks. So we're a very busy group. Not only do we service our community, but we offer workshops and lectures to our members so they can increase their talents. And we bring speakers to the island from a national perspective and sometimes internationally. And it is our hope to get back to meeting in person. And just like today, since COVID started, we have been meeting on Zoom, and we're looking forward to getting back and meeting in person as soon as the restrictions lift. But you might be asking, how are we funded? And we're funded through a quilt show or festival that happens every 2 years. It's a judged show, so that brings more interest to an exhibition. We usually have about 15 vendors. And so it happens every 2 years. Our quilt show that was to be March of 2020 had to be canceled. So now we've been struggling with a budget that was to last 2 years. We're stretching it over 4 years' time. So we've provided you with our financials. And so we want to go forward with our 2022 show, which now is just around the corner, March 25th through the 27th. And we do bring visitors to the island. Our recent data indicated that we had 38% in the 2016 year, 29% of our attendance in 2018. Those were all from outside our community, out of state, beyond South Carolina. And we anticipate this next show to be huge because people are ready to get out and see things. And quilters, many of us are retired and they have that money to spend, and we're better to come than Hilton Head. So we know it's going to be a big show. We're asking for the accommodation tax grant to underwrite our advertising to reach beyond the local region. We're seeking just a grant of $4,110. One is to buy some online, to be on a website of the American Quilters Society. And also there's a big show in Daytona Beach, Florida in February, just before our show, that we want to buy a program app. We also have asked to display our raffle quilt there to even spur on interest. We've provided our financials, worksheets from previous years, our budget for the quilt show, our board minutes, data collection of previous attendance to support our request. Not only would we be grateful for this grant, but we'd love for you to come and visit our show here on Hilton Head. It'll be at the Hilton Head Beach and Tennis. And at this time, I'm happy to entertain any of your questions or comments.
Great, thank you so much. With that, we'll open it up to questions from the committee.
Great. Thank you. I have just one or two.
Mr. Berghausen?
Yes.
I believe you swapped your camera views.
I did. Thank you. That was a nice picture of my grass cloth. So, I see in your application you note 100 visitors attended this event in 2018.
It was 1,100.
Oh.
Sorry.
That's good. Okay, it says 1,100.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think that pretty well is going to address my question. Your attachment 4A to your application has some numbers, like in 2016, I see a total of 735.
Right.
And what is that telling me? 735 attended this event in 2016?
Yes.
Okay.
And unfortunately, we had no show in 2020. We anticipated to I rounded up the 2018 from 1060. But we weren't even sure why our guild was collecting these numbers back then. And it's like, we're so glad they did, because it gave us some impetus that we can document that we're growing. And we know that the quilting community across the U.S. is huge. And I did include some numbers about that in our request.
Great. Well, thanks very much. Yeah, just correcting me on that 100 visitors to 1,100 visitors makes a whole lot of difference in terms of the effectiveness of this spend.
Right, and especially since it's only a 3-day show, once every 2 years. I mean, I think we do pretty well, but we're trying to reach beyond just South Carolina.
Great. Thanks very much. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the committee members? All right. Thank you.
I just would like to say I'm sorry I didn't have a PowerPoint presentation. I wouldn't know where to stop or end. You do see over my shoulder a few quilts, different types of quilting art. Some people think of just the grandmother's quilts, and we have all kinds of artists and talents, and I know you would enjoy it. And it's been an honor to talk to you today, and I thank you for your consideration.
Thank you so much, Donna. And
you're welcome.
No worries on no PowerPoint. I see the quotes. Very well done.
Thank you.
All righty. Have a good day.
You too.
All righty. With that, we will be moving on. Next presenter is Children's Center. Is that correct?
I hope so, because I'm here and ready to go.
Oh, hi, Miss Jody.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, you all. Thank you all very much for your time today and your time throughout the year in determining who makes our island really rock and roll when it comes to the tourism industry. I come to you today as a newbie, never having dealt with ATAX before, but I was encouraged by some folks to tell you about this new and exciting program that has seems to be developing. And I also ask you, as Amber did, to think about this from the perspective of the tourist experience. Certainly the Children's Center does not bring tourists to our island. I will be totally honest in that. I don't know how familiar you are with the Children's Center, so let me provide just a little bit of background. We are the second oldest nonprofit on the island. We have been here since 1967. We care for children beginning at 6 weeks of age all the way through 8-year-olds that come to us for after school and summer camp. We can, at capacity, take care of 200 children a day. We are open from 6:30 in the morning till 6 p.m. at night, Monday through Friday. And we do more than just childcare. Our focus is high quality early education at affordable tuition fees. Our focus are the low income families on the island. And you will find that most of those families are working in the tourism industry. When we do, annually, we do an assessment of employment for our families. And it was last fall we did it, but at that point, we had almost 60% of our families working in the tourism industry, mostly in restaurant, hospitality, serving as cleaning folks, maintenance folks, and landscape. So we do support very significantly the tourist experience, because if these parents do not have a place for their children that is safe and affordable, they will not be in the employment arena. And as you all know, and we experience it here every day, employment is a huge issue on our island. And many of us are suffering from underemployment and are really struggling to provide a quality experience for those folks that are coming into our businesses. For example, I just watched a mother who works at Main Street drop off her child this morning, and she was telling me how, because of staffing, they're having to limit their hours. So what we do really is an economic foundation base for our community as a whole. Today I'm asking for $30,000 for a new program that we didn't even think of. The rental management community came to visit me last fall and said, you know what, we have a real problem with our turnover in high tourist season. Our cleaning staff are having to take their children with them to clean villas, to clean homes, on Saturdays, and there's no place for these children to go. They are seeing children sitting by pools unattended while mom and dad are cleaning inside. They're seeing children on balconies, again, unattended because mom and or father are inside doing their job. They're seeing children walking across dining room tables because mom and dad are in the bedroom cleaning the bathrooms. And they said, not only is it a liability for them, but God forbid something happened to these children. So they asked us if we could potentially open what we're calling a Saturday school, where we will provide childcare for the children of those folks working in the tourism industry on Saturdays, so that these kids have someplace safe to come, someplace where they will be provided meals, someplace where they will get a variety of activities that are educational and healthy, and just plain old be safe. So we are coming today to the ATAX committee to help us fulfill that request, to provide that service to our community so that the parents of these children can be out working, helping to improve the tourist experience because they're doing a good job. They're cleaning, they're making sure that the turnover is timely and well done. There's nothing worse for a tourist to do than to walk into a new place, a villa or a home that is not cleaned appropriately or doesn't have the right accoutrements that they expected when they looked on their website and they paid their money. We are taking care of some of the children of service people out in the restaurant industry that are serving lunch in the afternoon on Saturday, while these people coming on the island are waiting for their villas or their homes to be available. They get here at 10 or 11 o'clock, their villa's not available till 4, so they have some time to kill. And one of the things that they do is go get some lunch because they're hungry. So we're taking care of those children. We being a nonprofit, and this being a new program, we didn't have the foundational funds to be able to get it started and get it off the ground. So we're coming to you to help us do that. We have 15 children currently enrolled. By the end, or not by the end of May, by the first part of June, we expect to have 40 children. We're serving children aged 3 to 8. And we're doing all that we can to get as many children in here as possible. It has been well received by the folks that are using and looking to use the service. And the rental agency, the rental management companies, and their cleaning people are really excited to have this opportunity as well. Many of them have put some funds behind the program, so they have some skin in the game. But one of the things that it would cost a family about $75 a day with based on our costs, our staffing costs, our food costs, our facility costs, and cleaning people can't afford that. So that's what we're trying to do, is supplement that cost. We're going to charge the families $25 a day. It includes lunch and snack and all the activities. Those activities will include everything from soccer camp to the Hilton Head Fire and Rescue coming to visit. We're working on the Sheriff's Department. We're hoping the Sandbox will bring over some activities, maybe coastal discovery. So we're trying to make this experience for the kids one that they probably wouldn't otherwise get. Because remember, these kids are coming from very low income families, and so they don't have the resources to be able to do some of these things on a regular basis. So I'm open to any questions you might have. We're ready, willing, and able to get started, and hopefully perpetuate this beyond just this year.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the committee?
All right. Well, thank you all for your time. I wish you well.
Can I just make a comment, please? I'm sorry, Jody.
Absolutely.
I hope this is permissible, but bravo to you. It's great what you're doing.
Thank you.
I think everybody on this call benefits in one way or another. So thank you, and the whole island does. So thank you for what you do.
Well, it's a blessing. So thank you.
A calling, right?
Thank you very much. All right, thank you, Jody. Have a wonderful day. All right, we moving on. Rex and Coastal Discovery, how are you?
Good, but my video is it on now? Okay, yes, I think Zendaya and I were turning it off and on at the same time. Hi, it's good to see you all again. I hope next time I see you, it's actually in person. I am going to share my screen and start my presentation. You disappeared. Okay, sorry, my apologies. Can you see me now?
We can see your
We can see
screen,
your
but
screen.
it's just blue. Do you have two screens, maybe?
I do.
So are you able to drag it to?
I cannot drag it. I am going to try and share my other PowerPoint that I have up. Is this showing?
We're just seeing a gray box.
I do not know why it won't share. I keep choosing it. I'll share the whole app and see if that helps.
Maybe share the desktop and then. I'm gonna stop sharing for you, and
Okay,
then
and then
you
I'll try
try to
and
do
share
it
again.
again.
Okay, my
Sure.
apologies.
No, no worries. Okay, now try it.
I am going to just start sharing the screen
Mm-hmm.
and see if that works. Whenever I click on it,
There.
you all disappear. What can
Yes,
you
and that's
see?
okay. Yes, and so now we can see your screen. So now you can go to your presentation.
Okay, do you see Coastal Discovery Museum?
No, we see your emails right
You see
now.
my emails? They're fascinating, aren't they? Um, Now can you see the PowerPoint? Is it in, it's probably in presenter view.
Yes.
And I'm on a split screen and I don't think I can change that. So I'm just gonna leave it
Okay.
on presenter view if that's okay and move forward.
Yeah.
You are familiar with Coastal Discovery Museum. I've done lots of presentations to you. What I would like to do as I go through is focus on what's new. It looks like I can't move this forward. Hold
It
on a
did.
second.
It moved.
Did it move forward? Are you on the second page, Coastal Discovery
Yes,
Museum by the
we
numbers?
sure are. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Coastal Discovery Museum by the numbers, what I'd like to focus on is the exhibitions that we do. We do over 7 exhibits in our gallery space per year. And I think that that's an area that the museum could be much stronger. I think if you know about us mostly from our programs. Most of the 103,000 plus patrons we served last year participated in one of our programs. Of those, almost 94,000 were from outside Beaufort County. So we have about a 91% tourism number. Of our visitors, usually about 50,000 of them go through our exhibition galleries. Our cost per visitor served last year, about $3 per visitor served came out of ATAX, $1.21 from the town, $9.37 is from grants, sponsorships, donations, and earned revenue. And our cost per visitor last year was high, about $13.46. Mostly because we had a reduced number of visitors for part of the year due to COVID. Of our exhibitions, we have been working hard to up the quality of our exhibitions. The Santa Elena exhibition that we did last year We are now looking at traveling and taking up to Beaufort County. We're going to look at a space up there at the Beaufort History Museum this afternoon. The show that we currently have up, Return to Nature, Gullah Geechee Story and History, has been very well attended. It has some really exceptional Gullah art in it, both historic pieces like these by Sam Doyle and contemporary pieces. And here is part of the show in our gallery. We have a beautiful building. It's a beautiful space, and it has lots of windows. And this has made it hard for us to hang large shows in the Coastal Discovery Museum space. And we would like to add temporary walls. These are standard in most museum settings. Most museums have a set of these Mila walls. And here's an example of what they look like in an exhibition space. So these walls are in sections, but they are nailable, paintable, and when the sections go up, tape goes on the individual sections, so it makes them look like a continuous wall, and they can be used over and over again for hundreds of exhibitions. Here's another shot that shows how they can be arranged to create internal walls within an exhibit space. And this will greatly increase our capacity at the museum to do high quality exhibitions. And it's a major expense to buy this wall system, but it will last us for many years in many exhibitions. The second part of this proposal is Volumes of Light, the lanterns of Chantel Ritter. And we want to work with the Office of Cultural Affairs on this exhibition together. And we've contacted Chantel, and she has 11 years worth of lanterns that she has built and has in storage. And having this wall system will allow us to block the windows and light up the lanterns within our gallery, and I think create a really beautiful exhibition. Here are some of her, I hope that some of you have been to the Lantern Parade. This was the drive-through version that we did at Honeyhorn last year. And here are some photographs of some of her lanterns from the Lantern Parade. Other exhibitions that we would like to do include Courtney Madison, who's a ceramic sculptor, and she does this undersea life focused on coral reefs, and it's really incredible work, but it's large scale. And so she's very interested in the ocean and being an advocate for the ocean, and she does that through art, which really inspires people. And here's a photograph of some of her work installed on these temporary Mila walls. The only other thing that I wanted to add is some of our numbers. We redid our website in February, and in March launched our new website, but I think these numbers reflect our draw. We are seeing the highest attendance we've ever seen on our website in April and May. Some of that is spring break peaks that we normally get, but they're higher than usual, and the attendance at the museum has been exceptionally high. And we're expecting an incredibly busy summer. So that is my quick 5 minutes. Thank you. My apologies for having technical difficulties. And I want to leave some time in case you have questions for me.
Great. Thank you so much, Rex. Great presentation. Really appreciate all that you do. And it's so great to see that there's such great outside visitors to your space in the museum. So we'll open it up for questions from the committee.
Hey, good morning, Rex. It's Stephen. Just wanted to say thank you for the presentation and echo what Drew said. What a great asset you are to the island and to our tourists that come to the island as well. So
Thank
thanks
you.
for
We
the
try,
presentation.
and we couldn't do it without support of ATAX. So thank you so much for supporting us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, Rex, it's Jim. Yeah, and I would echo that. This is another real signature effort, and so well attended by our tourists. Obviously, the thing that jumps out at me is the total funding that you're getting from ATAX is kind of, in the long run, it's not a sustainable amount if we're going to meet the other needs in the community. So you're doing some one-time things here of some build out. I'm only urging you to be thinking forward too about how you'll reduce the asks in the future.
I've already thought about that and had discussions with my board and sort of explained to them that, you know, these are one-time things and it's going to go back to normal once our big projects are completed. So I am very aware of that and understand that there's a very broad need for that, but I'm also hopeful that with our busy summer, we'll have sufficient ATAX funds for everyone next year.
Well, right. And so thank you. Well done. I mean, 100,000 tourists is a lot, and you're tracking it very well, and that helps us do our job. So we thank you for that.
Thank you, Jim.
Great. If there are no other comments or questions from the committees, we'll move on. Thank you so much, Rex. Great presentation.
Thank you.
All righty. It's the first tee of the Lowcountry. Are they on, Zendaya?
Yes.
Zendaya, I'm going to be presenting, and Pat will be here as backup if that's okay.
That's absolutely fine.
Okay.
Hey, Caitlin.
Hi.
Good
Hi,
to see
everybody.
you.
Yeah, great to see you too. I'm just going to be sharing my screen here. Is that the correct one, or do you see my notes?
We see your notes.
Okay, hold on then. Stuck. Still my notes?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's not letting me scroll down. Hold on. All right. There we go. Is that better?
Yes.
That will work.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Hi, all. Welcome. I'm Caitlin Lee. I'm a development associate for First Tee of the Lowcountry, and we're here asking you today, as a fairly new golf facility on Hilton Head, for some marketing dollars to help us really promote this valuable asset to tourism on Hilton Head. We're really and truly Hilton Head's only family-friendly, affordable golf facility. Our cost and barrier to entry is really low. It's a great place for people to introduce their children to the game of golf, and that's really part of our mission at the First Tee. We're a 6-hole par 3 course with a 325-yard driving range, a 9,000 square foot putting green, and we also have a 9-hole disc golf course. We've really been moving in the past 3 to 4 years to really build our brand awareness and awareness of this facility. So we're excited to present to you today some of the ways we're trying to do that. Our visitor numbers really have been pretty impressive for the past few years, and even with COVID, we outperformed probably what we thought we were going to. Our last regular COVID, before COVID year, we were about 5,000 visitors. The way we measure everybody as they enter and they pay for their greens fee, which is nominal. We ask if they're on Hilton Head, which is local. That's how we've measured that, is just 29928 and 26. Tourists are anywhere outside of that 50-mile range, and visitors are the people in between. This year, we're on trend to outperform our previous 2 years with seeing almost 2,000 visitors just this year. And we've actually grown, based on just this year's numbers, about 3% in our visitors served. You can see here through March 2021, and these numbers on your left right here are as of the 17th of May. And through March 2021, our facility use is up over 25% from the same period in 2020 and up 11% from 2019. So we really are showing growth for our facility use, and especially with tourism, with our tourists. That being said, we really do need to drive some brand awareness. And as a nonprofit, we are coming to you for help with that as a valuable golf asset in our very golf-centric community. We are asking for $30,000 for facility advertising, including $10,000 for signs. We do have a partial matching grant for this from First Tee International, but we really need to update those signs to accurately reflect the offerings that we have at our facility. We're asking for $5,000 for print and digital advertising. This is a really exciting program that we're hoping to launch and are prepared to launch based on the funding. Is one of the great things about the First Tee is we have chapters all over the country, and we have a lot of chapters in our target tourist markets, especially drive-in, which is great for golf clubs. But we have many chapters in Atlanta, in Ohio, all the way, down the 95 corridor, and again, in Atlanta, Charlotte, even Charleston. We do have partners in our chapters there that we are going to work with them and really target those people for when they're coming to Hilton Head, or encourage them to come to Hilton Head, that they can come to First Tee. And then we are going to continue our annual rack card advertising and hospitality outreach program. We do offer children's camps and children's programs at our facility all summer, and we market those to our hotels and resorts. We're really excited also about our billboard program. It's kind of new. Blip billboards are kind of functioning more as you would pay for social media advertising. So you pay per view, which is awesome. And there's two billboards in our area, one along I-16 and then one right as you get off the Talmadge Bridge on the I-17 area. So as people are coming to Hilton Head, they can see that First Tee, the Lowcountry, is ready to welcome them in their golf and with their family. We're also really excited about our Women in Golf event. Women are a huge segment of our tourists, and we want to encourage them, and women in golf is kind of still a growing segment. We want to bring a Top Golf type atmosphere to our facility for one night and do a women's night on the green, and to encourage women to come and try out our facility when they might not feel comfortable doing it another time. So it'll just be really fun, very festive, just something really different that we can advertise to have people come in for a ladies' weekend. But we're really looking forward to that. We're also going to launch a text message advertising to activate our campus visitors for special events and promotions. So maybe those drive-in market people who have come in the past want to return for events like our Women in Golf, or when we host other kids camps or other things. And then lastly, we're requesting $2,500 for a custom inflatable tent, which we use to drive our brand awareness at local events. Very excitingly, we're going to be having this tent, well, we've actually already purchased it, but we are requesting funds for this to drive our brand awareness, and we will be at the Palmetto Championship at Congaree, spreading brand awareness for Hilton Head and also for First Tee of the Lowcountry in our facility. So that's kind of where we're at. We're really just using this opportunity as we see our visitors and tourists segment grow to ask you all for some funds to help with that. And a lot of these are one-time asks to kind of push our advertising to the next level. And that's it for our presentation today.
Mr. Fluker, Drew had to step off for a brief moment. Are you able to take over?
Do any of the committee members have any questions?
This is Jim. I have one. Caitlin, thank you. Nice presentation. In looking over the materials, I see that First Tee of the Lowcountry has $540,000 of cash on hand. What are your plans for that, and why isn't that money covering this expense?
Yeah, can you hear me? This is Pat.
Sure. Yes, Pat.
So the first thing you need to understand about that, about 65% of those funds are restricted in use. Some for future capital expense, some for emergency operation expense, scholarships, funds that were encumbered through grants for specific purposes. So that's number one. Number two is I've always believed that when you ask for money, you should ask from a position of strength, rather than coming to you with a handout saying, if we don't have this, we can't do things. But it's a fairly accepted practice in the not-for-profit world that you don't want to ask for money when you're in desperate need.
Any other questions from the committee? All right, thank you, Caitlin, and thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Do we have the people or persons from the outside foundation available?
Jean, are you?
I'm here.
Okay.
Can you see me?
Not yet. I believe you're muted on your side. Your video is muted on your side.
Oh, shoot.
Here you are.
All set?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty, great. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Oh, shoot. It's not allowing me to do that, unfortunately. I feel like I'm in a long line of technical issues here, so sorry. Hear what's going on here.
Are your controls on the side or up at the top?
Up at the top.
Up at the top? Okay, so you see right next to it looks like a hang up button, like the red one? Don't that.
I did that, and it's not allowing me to let Bluetooth or a blue screen share. I don't quite know what's happening there. Shoot, I'm sorry about that. I'm not sure what's going on. It's telling me to go into systems preferences and to check the box next to Blue Jeans. So sorry about that.
To allow Blue Jeans access to your computer?
Yeah,
or
I
did
think
you want?
Caitlin may be able to help me do that. Caitlin Lee, I think, can share this for me.
Okay.
If you give us a chance, maybe Jean, you can go into it and I'll get the presentation ready, but I can help you as you move along. Or maybe we want to skip forward one.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not allowing me to do this. Sorry about that. I don't know. It's got, there it is. Okay. Can everyone see that okay?
No.
Nope.
Why don't we, Blake? I see Blake White is on.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get Blake to present, and then we can come back to you.
Yeah. Apologies for that. I'll sit here and try to figure this out.
Let me see. Or Caitlin, are you able to share it?
Yeah, I just have to get it off the Dropbox. My apologies, but it'll be just a second.
I believe Blake. Blake, is that you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you want to go ahead and present, and then we can come back to the outside foundation?
That's fine. And I'm too technically inferior to even create a PowerPoint presentation, so you don't have to worry about that.
No worries. So, committee, we're going to skip, we're going to move down one to Lean Ensemble, and then we will come back to the outside foundation. Blake, you're ready to start.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for your time and consideration with this extra ATAX distribution. Words like influx, fluid, cautious have been such an overwhelmingly constant part of our vernacular for the past 14 months that I anxiously await expunging them from my vocabulary entirely. I'm coming to you this morning with my two new favorite words, which are determined and optimistic. Lean Ensemble Theater will open its 6th season in October. We have a season of 3 regional premieres, a Tony Award winner for Best Play, and the world premiere of our long-in-the-works commission, Mitchellville. It is a season that has all the hallmarks of Lean Ensemble Theater, and we are determined to make it the best season in our company's history. We are optimistic that audiences are ready to return as well. However, there is work to be done to let our audience know that we are ready for their safe and enthusiastic return. While we here at Lean are patiently awaiting the specific safety protocols that will be set by the various theatrical unions that we work in concert with, which are Actors Equity Association, the Stage Directors and Choreographers Society, as well as IATSE, our marketing plan is in its final stages to let everyone know that not only is Lean back, but we are back better and safer than ever. This includes a season announcement blitz that is coming in early June. It also includes a summer of advertising to message our readiness. Each and every safety precaution that we take to prep for the return of live audiences is obviously important, but arguably just as important is letting everyone know that they will be in good hands with Lean. Now, all that said, no matter how hard we work to guarantee in-person safety and comfort, some particularly vulnerable audience members may still feel ill at ease coming back to the theater. So we have an option for those folks as well. We will be filming our first two productions for an at-home viewing experience using state-of-the-art 4K multi-camera equipment that will provide an option that might not be exactly the same as being in the theater, but it will be close. These at-home experiences will also give us the opportunity to expand our reach well beyond the Lowcountry borders to better meet our overall vision of becoming a destination theater here in the Southeast. And God willing, long gone are the days of Zoom via theater, which is like the Brady Bunch opening credits. We have made good use of the pause created by the pandemic. We have produced a 4-show virtual season, a 10-episode arc of an internet talk show. We expanded our board. We composed and implemented a new strategic plan, and we created an ongoing emphasis on equity, diversity, and inclusion. Now it is mid-May. No one can argue that the country is reopening, and so, therefore, is the entire theater industry. It is time for us to put our work into action, and it's time for the rubber to meet the road. With that brief introduction, I'm happy to take any questions that the committee might have.
Thank you, Blake. It's very obvious your passion, and we're excited for you to be back, and especially I'm excited for the Mitchellville project as well. I think it's going to be great. We'll open it up for questions from the committee.
Hey, Blake, Jim again. Hey, I understand properly, that this is a $25,000 ask. It's essentially a one-time ask, right, for the improved filtering system?
Yes, but also the two filmed projects are the big marketing expense that we have coming our way. We've contracted a company out of New York called Sleeves Up Production. We've been working with them for about 6 years, so we have a long, good history with them. We want to make sure that the quality of the product that we put out there is of a caliber that people will actually want to watch it. We aren't budgeting continuing to film those projects until we find out how cost effective it's going to be, meaning what is the response that we get. So for now, those are the only two filmed projects that we have budgeted at this time.
Okay. Of the $25,000 ask, how much of it is for the MERV 13 filters?
Zendaya, should I explain the conversation that we had?
Yes.
When I submitted the application, Zendaya graciously called me and said that those expenses to improve the building were not covered because we are a performing arts organization. So Zendaya and I rewrote the budgeting to make sure that the marketing end and the filming end was going to be included in those numbers. So we aren't allowed, because of state law, to actually improve the building using accommodations tax funds.
Okay. So
I was unaware of that law when I wrote the application.
Okay, that clarifies it on my end. Thank you. Yeah, sure.
It clarified it for me as well.
Okay.
Are there any other questions from the committee? Okay. Well, thank you so much, Blake. Thank you for adjusting and being flexible, and we really appreciate all you're doing for the community. And can't wait for you guys to be back as well.
For your extra effort this year. We really appreciate it. Thanks very much.
All righty. Jean, are you guys set?
I believe we are. I think Caitlin can go ahead and present our little PowerPoint, and I can talk through it. Does everyone see that okay?
Yes.
And you can hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you all so much for allowing us to be here today, and again for your support for the Outside Foundation. We're pretty small, we're pretty young, we're just 6 years old. Caitlin, if you could move to the next slide. We're here today to ask you to help us get the word out about the third annual Alakai Lowcountry Boil Paddle Battle Race. Pretty cool event. We're real excited. September 11th is our date to host this. And what this race is that it is one of 9 in what's called the Southern Stroke Series. The Southern Stroke Organization are basically a group of outfitters and individuals interested in all different types of paddle sports who gather. There's a point system. Those who enroll in the various events in the Southeast here can earn points, and basically it's a pretty much a really growing phenomena. Our paddle battle is the largest and fastest growing race within the series, and it's the only paddle sports race right now here on Hilton Head Island. So. Next slide. Those of you that have heard of us might be familiar with some of our programs. In just 6 years, we feel like we've made a pretty impressive impact in our work on the island, working with kids. Our mission is to get kids outside and to preserve and to protect our local ecosystem. We're just coming off a pretty successful hashtag Earth Day HHI effort where we gathered community members together for an island-wide cleanup. We feel that this race is just an amazing addition to basically really highlighting the natural beauty of Hilton Head Island, allowing people to get out and actually immerse themselves in the nature, and including families, including kids in this particular event. So next slide. So here's the Southern Series. If you go to the website to register for our event, you'd go to paddleguru.com. And you would see the Southern Stroke Series. You could choose races, and then you would choose the month of September. And you would quickly come upon the page that you see here to the right. This is actually the registration page. And you can see that it opens up with this beautiful statement, paddle on beautiful Hilton Head Island. Come see why Hilton Head Island has been voted by Travel and Leisure as the best island destination in America. It goes on to talk about the cultural and natural kind of highlights of the island. So really attractive for drawing people to our area. Again, we're one of 9 races so far that are listed on the website for 2021. And again, the emphasis is in showcasing our beautiful natural environment. And what we think is really special and really significant, and what we really kind of think will be a draw, is that it's going to be a 4-day event, a destination weekend event, and there's something for everyone. It's very family friendly, very inclusive, and the registration fees do support they do give back to our community. So part of the registration fee will go to the Andrew Carmine's Foundation as well as the Outside Foundation. Our goal this year is 200 registered races. So Caitlin, next slide. This is basically where we expect to draw from with our, if you were given assistance for print and digital media. These are basically the areas that most racers come from. Based on data from the Southern Stroke Series. And so we would be targeting, these particular states with our, basically our advertising and our marketing outreach. Next slide. So here's the lineup of events, and this is what makes this event, I think, really cool, really special for Hilton Head Island. On Thursday, the 9th of September, we're going to invite people to register for, sign up for a Ohana cruise to the Page Islands for a backwater paddle excursion and dinner. That's going to be, a half-day event, pretty cool. We've already had one of these at Outside Hilton Head, and it was a great success and lots of fun to load up the paddle boards and head on out. On Friday morning, for those early risers, we're going to have a yoga class over at Shelter Cove Marina, led by basically a paddleboard instructor. From 9 to noon, we're going to have some pro instructional clinics at Shelter Cove Marina. We do have Flying Fish Company coming in, and they'll be bringing some demo boards. From 1 to 4, we'll be doing windsurf instructional demos with paddle boards and surf skis. What's really neat about this event is not only can you come and race, but you can be basically, kind of have your eyes open to other forms of having fun out on the water and competition. And windsurf is brand new to Hilton Head. And we are fortunate that we're able to get some windsurf, and we have some instructors here that can do some demos. And surf skis are kind of cool. They're in our race, and a lot of people aren't aware of them, but it's a growing area within the paddle sports industry. That evening, on Friday evening, outside Hilton Head will be hosting a racer reception for race packet pickups. Saturday morning, bright and early, we get started at Hudson's Seafood Restaurant. That is our venue. The first race to kick off will be our kids race. We'll be featuring and inviting kids from Boys and Girls Club and other kids from around the island for a fun race. We have a long course and a short course, and then immediately following our races, which are 8 mile and 3.5 mile, and then of course kids race. Immediately following our races, we'll have basically an authentic Lowcountry boil at Hudson's, an award ceremony really quick. One of the things that we highlight about this particular thing is that it is a huge welcome mat to what's great about our islands, not only nature, but it's our food as well. From 3 to 6, we're going to host a family fun beach event. We're in discussions with the Westin about having it there. We're going to have windsurf demos, surfing instructors, paddleboard surfing, kite surf demos and instruction, and then all kinds of beach games for families to enjoy, and a picnic dinner, just kind of time to relax, recharge, and kind of just enjoy our beautiful beaches. On Sunday, we're going to wrap up the weekend by having Outside Foundation, Lowcountry Trash Heroes, hosting a kind of a two-way cleanup on Pinckney Island. We'll be attacking trash from both the land side and the water side. So pretty cool and of course, very consistent with our mission. Next slide. Next slide, Caitlin. Yeah, so this gives you an idea of kind of the Honda. This here is the paddle demo we did last year. The woman on the left is Seychelles. She is the #1 women's paddler in the world. She's based in Florida. She came up last year with her family. Coming again this year, she's already registered. But it's really kind of fun that we did some paddle demos with her. Next slide. This is Erie. Erie's out of Brazil, but he's actually working. He's working and kind of on the flying fish team out of Florida. Haven't heard from Erie this year, but we're hoping he comes back. He's in the top 15 men's paddlers in the world. Here's the next slide is great. That's a surf. That's basically the wing surf, brand new. And so we're going to be kind of introducing that to both visitors and islanders, hopefully through this event. Next slide. This is our venue. So what a great way to experience, Hilton Head. So people coming here are going to get the authentic welcome to Hilton Head. What a great location right on the Skull Creek. Last year we pulled it off without fans, but this year we expect lots of fans and lots of fun. Next slide. Here's what the race looks like when we get started. Last year we had 147 racers, and about 67% of our attendees were from 50 miles or further away. So we think that's pretty impressive. We think we can be a draw on the southeast coast. Next slide. Here's an example of the surf ski. It's a whole kind of different way to race. Next slide. Here's a kayaker, so we include kayakers, and we have them in both the long and the short course. We have double kayaks, single kayaks, family kayaks, canoe-style kayaks, you name it, different types of kayaks. Next slide. This is what's called an OC, an outrigger canoe, and so here we see a double. We also have those in singles as well, so they are part of our race. Next slide. This is just an example of what the quality of racers, dead ahead there, that's Erie in the front. To his far left, that is Seychelles, and they are rounding the first turn here as we start the race. Needless to say, Seychelles beat most of the men in the long course, which was an 8-mile race, pretty grueling. Next slide. So again, here's just another great look at the race. Mike Overton on your far right there. Kids, next slide, kids. This is a perfect venue for not only introducing children, but allowing them to kind of see how cool it is and the different types of ways they can get out and enjoy the water. And of course, at the Outside Foundation, we're following through on that. We're hosting children for paddleboard instruction and also kayaking. Here's an example of a surf ski with a little guy who raced last year. And to just remind you that this is not just for the top level racers. Yours truly on the left here, I competed in the kind of the shorter race last year, but we welcome all kinds of levels of racers to this, and a really, really fun event. Next slide. One of the ways in which we connect our Lowcountry, again, if you look in the hands of these winners, and again, that's Seychelles in the middle, you'll see there's a piece of Julie Jones artwork. Julie Jones, an artist out of Bluffton, was kind enough to create some artwork for our awards. Next slide. We see that Chase Allen, the amazing Chase Allen, donated some iron fish sculpture for winners, and those podiums were actually designed and handcrafted by Julie Jones as well. So pretty neat. We think the venue is beautiful. We think this is going to be a huge attraction. And here already, you can see we have a Facebook page. We have purchased a web page, and of course, we want to really kind of get some word out through out-of-market print ads. So we're asking for 8,000 there, 5,000 to really bump up our social media so we can really reach people off island and basically from those states that Southern Stroke pulls from. We need some signage. We need marketing materials, 5,000 there. And of course, we've got this website. We don't really have much with it yet. We just didn't have the money to do much with it. So, and final slide. So what we have so far is that we've purchased that website up top. We'd love to do some stuff with that. We can use Paddle Guru for our registration. And of course, we have a Facebook page because Facebook is free. But again, not everybody is on that. But we sure would like to extend our reach through that Facebook page. So thank you so much for listening today and hearing about our great event. And I'm happy to answer questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Jean. With that, we'll open it up for questions from the committee.
Great. Gene, I'll jump in again. It's Jim Berghausen. The ask is 20,000, right. And I saw that you had 99 racers, hope to get 200 this year. If we looked at effectiveness, that would be a very high cost per racer. But so it's not about just the number of racers, it's about the people you attract to the event. This being your third year, have you been able to collect any data on the number of visitors, locals, and tourists that have attended your event in the past?
Well, again, last year, even despite COVID and the challenges of all of that and not being able to really have fans because we were so limited in who we could invite to actually be at the race site, we were able to attract 147 registered paddlers. We know that many of them brought their families. It was kind of difficult to get a thumb on that, a finger on that, because again, we were battling just being able to have this race at all. We do know that based on registration that 67% of our attendees did come from 50 miles or further.
Okay. And again, this is the racers themselves.
Yes, based on registration data.
Okay. Okay. But we don't really, we don't have a feel on how many tourists or people attended your event.
Well, they couldn't attend last year because of COVID. Yeah, it was really challenging. We, right up until the last minute, it was just really difficult. And, we knew we were dealing with limitations on area. We had to include as part of the uniform, the masks that had to stay on. So it was kind of hard to get a finger on. But we know that one of the things that was neat, that a lot of the people that popped up in the various clinics weren't necessarily the racers. So, that's again an area where we feel we could maybe make some impact. And I think moving this to a 4-day event is really the key. And once we get to that 4-day event, I think we'll have an opportunity to get some better zip codes and some ideas of not only who's registering, but also how many people are coming in their parties and things like that.
Well, and thank you. And that'll be a key to us since our job is to do things that spur tourism. We need to lean on you to be able to show us, to document. So just look for ways to be able to document it so you can show us.
Sure.
Yeah, but I understand last year's a weird year.
Yeah, sure was. Yeah. This is kind of a new, it's a new thing, and I think that as part of that town vision and the town plan, sports tourism is super important. And, I think we're stepping into those waters. We're creating a pretty big race. Alakai only sponsors one race on the East Coast, and they're our sponsor. And that's really kind of neat. And they don't really give us a whole lot. They give us race shirts and they're on site. But that's significant because they're a huge name. And so we really kind of think that as things go, we will be attracting, and be better able to get a handle on who is coming to this event, for sure.
Hi, Jen. Good morning. This is Stephen. Just echoing what Jim's saying, I think the data that we're needing is the folks that are coming to watch the event as well. I don't believe that participants carry much weight when it comes to our ability to fund for the event. I think it has to be the tourism that follows the event that comes to it. So make sure we capture where those folks are coming from with your event this year. Is going to be, like Jim said, crucial for us to make recommendations for future events as well.
Great. Any other questions by the committee? Okay. Thank you so much, Jean. Thank you so much,
Thank
Caitlin.
you. Apologies for the delay and the technical issues.
Not a problem whatsoever. Have a great day. Okay, with that, we'll go on to the Hilton Head Symphony Orchestra.
Mr. Jordan?
Yes. I need to turn my video on, maybe. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Right. I am. Well, I can see myself, but I can't. Says the video is off. I apologize.
And the video button should be next to or above the microphone where your sound is. There you are. You can begin when you're ready.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning. And thank you for your voluntary service to our Hilton Head Island town and for convening this special grant. Now, people are clamoring for live, in-person musical experiences, as much as people are booking hotel and weekly rental units and filling restaurants here in the Coligny section of Hilton Head Island. We at the Symphony can attest to the musical experience situation. All 458 available tickets for the Hilton Head Symphony Orchestra's April 28th inaugural outdoor concert were sold in less than 48 hours. Like Lean Ensemble, we are bullish about the coming year, one which will see the HHSO celebrate 40 years of service here, as well as John Morris Russell's 10 years as music director. We are putting the final touches on our traditional offerings, the 18-concert orchestra series, the Hilton Head International Piano Competition, 2 Symphony Under the Stars extravaganzas at Coastal Discovery Museum at Honeyhorn, education and community engagement activities including young people's concerts, the Youth Concerto Competition, the Chamber Music Institute, and in-school Music Bridges programs, and multiple performances here at Soundwaves at Coligny. Now, in addition to all this, we are set to start our new Gullah Cultural Series this fall, with concerts at Soundwaves, in Gullah community centers, and public schools on the island. But we have more plans. Beginning next month, we will present 6 free outdoor Jazz on the Patio concerts on the Soundwaves patio to patrons who gather on Lagoon Road and nearby areas in Coligny Plaza. Our premier series lineup includes the 17-piece fabulous Equinox Orchestra, the Charlton Singleton Quartet, and Hilton Head Island favorites, the John Brackett Quartet and Martin Lesh Band. Now, while some town administrators told us the Lowcountry Celebration Park at Coligny Pavilion was not built to be a concert venue, we proved otherwise. It is a great location for live performances with a raked lawn to afford fantastic views of performers on the stage. We plan to kick off our 40th anniversary season with a free concert for tourists, visitors, and locals on October 22nd. Both the Jazz on the Patio series and the Lowcountry Celebration Park concert are seen as ongoing annual events, and there could be no better time to launch these performances than when people are starved for concerts. Our primary goal is to enhance the cultural experience for tourists and visitors, and you can't get much more appealing than spectacular free performances. We will be working with local restaurants, retailers, and others to offer prizes to select concert attendees who participate in a fun online contest each concert. Winners will be announced at intermission as we capture names, email addresses, and home zip codes in the process. Coligny area businesses will enjoy an uptick in traffic and sales. Accommodations will have another event to offer guests, and Coligny will become better known as the downtown of Hilton Head Island. So this is what we are thinking. Now we'd like to hear what you think. I would welcome your reactions and questions.
Thank you, Alan. We'll open it up to the committee.
Well, Jim will jump in again. I really like the idea of the free concerts and using the new park. I mean, I think it's great. The Symphony does get significant funding from ATAX already, and the big driver, I think, is for y'all to find ways to increase the tourists' attendance at your events to essentially lower the cost per tourist from an ATAX perspective. How effective are we spending our ATAX money? And the good news here is, yeah, it's an additional ask, but it's to generate a very high percentage of tourists, which will really help your overall numbers. So I look at this as being responsive to our request, last go round to find ways to increase your tourist attendance. So overall, I wish it didn't require additional funding to do it, but at the same time, maybe this brings has a favorable impact on your overall cost per tourist. So in that sense, it's very positive, and thank you for listening to us too.
You're welcome.
Sure. I guess that wasn't much of a question, was it?
Great. There's no other questions for the committee. Well done, Alan. Very well said, and we appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your work.
Thank you. Okay. With that, we have completed all of the hearings. And so we'll move on to the chairman's report unless there's anything else from the committee or the town. Hearing none, I'll move on. So my chairman's report, May 26th at 9 a.m. is the review and recommendation meeting for the 2021 out-of-cycle grants. Once awarded by the ATAC, Town Council will review and award the grants at a later meeting. So please watch for the Town Council's agenda for the date. May 28th, this ATAC meeting was previously held for out-of-cycle grants will be canceled as there are no other additional grant requests. And as a reminder, all 2020 grants awarded by the Town Council have an expiration date we would just encourage, any organizations out there or those that are going to be watching this to use any money that has not been spent and then go back and ask for reimbursement. So it's a great reminder for everyone out there that's watching or still involved. With that, is there any other business that needs to come before the committee before we adjourn from both town or the committee members? Okay. Hearing none, we will stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Drew.
All right.
Thank you.